Amanda and Alex today. Two people that, a couple that, what state are you guys in?
Alabama.
Alabama. A couple that just finished in the last couple of weeks the series of 8 classes with me, the 8-pack, to help improve their eyesight. I work with the two of them. So we're kind of sharing today what your experience was with the classes. I'll start first of all with asking each of you what how you heard about me and what got you interested in doing this.
Well, I had heard your interview on Wise Traditions, the podcast Wise Traditions, and that's been a while ago. And I heard it, and I actually shared it with my sister, and I thought, this is really cool, but I said, I don't know, that's kind of out there. I don't know if that'll work. But we actually have some new friends in the area who had just finished a class with you, and they were telling us about it, and they just raved about it. And so we said, yeah, okay, we're gonna give it a go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What did you think? And then you told Alex?
Yeah.
I'm just along for the ride. Nah, we listened to the podcast together, and I actually did think it was really interesting as well. Just because as we've been going through various other, health issues and, just learning other things, we're like, oh, well, if we can naturally do, heal ourselves from XYZ, why wouldn't we be able to do that with our vision or something like that? So that was definitely something in our heads. Mm-hmm. And then, we listened to that podcast. We're like, wow, that's really, really interesting. And then we kind of forgot about it. And like I said, then we met our new friends in town, and that kind of, we're like, okay, we've got to do this now. It's, we have a good incentive to do it.
Well, that's a good example of where it helped for somebody else to have done it and then let you guys know about it. So that's where you guys are doing a service for other people here too.
Hopefully.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's always good for people to hear about individuals' direct experience on doing this instead of just hearing from me, where I tell people, yeah, I, helped a lot of people with their eyesight. And they're like, yeah, everybody who sells something says that. So it's good for you guys to tell other people about it. Tell me a little bit about what your vision was like. What made you think that you wanted to work on improving your eyesight?
Yeah, so I mean, my vision hasn't really been awful throughout my life. It's always just kind of been, I feel like I can do a lot of things, but, text and all of that always was very fuzzy, like in school, looking at like, the, not chalkboard, but whiteboard. And, so that's when I kind of started getting into it. And so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say my vision was bad, but it definitely wasn't good. And so I definitely felt like I needed glasses and contacts. And so that's kind of where I got into that.
And you had never used glasses or contact lenses?
No, I hadn't. No, I've worn glasses and contacts since probably high school, early high school. Yeah, so I mainly use contacts, but they've always been, relatively small prescriptions, -1 or something like that is. So it was never something that I felt like if I didn't have my glasses, I was blind, but I definitely felt like I needed them to drive and to, go to school and all those different things.
Right. And do you remember about how old you were when you first started using glasses or contacts?
I was in middle school. I think it was like 6th grade is when I really started noticing I couldn't see the board as well. Mm-hmm. I'm having to squint more. And so I actually borrowed my brother's glasses, and when I went to class, I would put them on just to read the board or something like that.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think by maybe early high school, like freshman year, I got my own contacts and glasses.
And I don't remember if it's something that I spoke about on the Wise Traditions podcast, that middle school going into high school going into college, those are the typical times when nearsightedness comes up for people. And so that makes sense of why it came up at that time. Yeah.
And mine was, I think, the end of 8th grade. So yeah, that would have been the transition from middle to high school.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I don't remember like him just vaguely needing glasses but not going to get them. I just remember like I went to the eye doctor and they said you need glasses, and I was like, oh, okay. So I got some glasses.
You got them put on at that time. Okay. And your vision was probably worse than Alex's.
Just a little bit. Mine is also not terrible, or was not also terrible. It was slightly worse than his, but again, it wasn't something that was to where I felt unsafe to walk to the end of the driveway to check the mail or, whatever. I'm not blind by any stretch of the imagination. It was just,
without the glasses or what?
Yeah, without the glasses. It's just a lack of clarity. Things that are farther away, I definitely would have to wait until they either got closer to me or I got closer to it to see is that a cat or a skunk?
That's a good thing to be aware of, to figure out which is which. So then so you guys decided to take the classes with me. What was your experience in taking the classes?
It was a really good experience. So yeah, after the first intro class, where we saw like really how, we were looking for when something isn't clear in your vision, you really seize up, you're squinting, your breathing's off, all that. And so I think that's what really got us like, okay, we really do feel like, there's a lot to this and it makes sense. Everything Carlos has said, Carlos isn't, waving his hands and our vision's better, right? Our bodies have been conditioned to do these things which negatively affect our vision. So that kind of got us, hooked, I guess. And then it's really, really cool experience, I would say, for me, just to, go from, you're looking at text on the wall or something and it's fuzzy, and then you do an exercise or something and it, clears up, you don't get perfect vision right away, obviously, but there's moments where, I kind of, when I was working with you, Carlos, it just seemed like, you have a camera and it was fuzzy and you kind of got it focused right and you can see the text and then it goes away and you're like, whoa, this is
right.
I have control over my vision a lot more than I ever thought I did.
Oh, that's great.
And so it's been a continual, like, really cool thing to be able to take charge on your own vision and say, I can fix this. It's just going to take, my time and, energy to fix it. It's
right.
This problem, I guess.
That's one of the really nice things, that when people become aware that they have control over it, because we're normally taught that it's age related or it has to do with the shape of our eyeball. As people get older, they're told that it has to do with the hardness of the lens and all this kind of stuff. And all of it is fixable if you know how to make the adjustments, so that, like you said, that focus comes in when you're looking at something.